Hey, First Baptist, we are excited to let you guys know that in 2 weeks, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after this one, which will be June the 14th, all of these seats behind me, hopefully, are going to be filled with you guys. Now, we're going to make some changes. There has to be some things that are going to be different going into this. The first of these changes is that our service time is going to begin at 10:30 a.m. and the doors are going to open at 10 a.m. So again, that's worship begins at 10:30, but please don't get here before 10 a.m. because in order for our seating to work, we need everybody to not enter the building until 10. Also on June the 14th and continuing on for at least a month, there will not be any nursery or preschool or children's church. So none of our age group ministries are going to meet on that Sunday morning. And also none of our Sunday school classes will meet yet on Sunday, June the 14th. All of that will come later, prayerfully later on this summer. But we will start back to worship June 14th in here, okay? Now here's something else. I know with social distancing, the CDC is kind of encouraging folks to wear masks. And so we want to echo that. If you feel like you need a mask, we would encourage you to wear those masks for your safety and for the safety of those around you. So again, 10:30 start time, and we need to be wearing our mask, no children's activities on that Sunday morning, all right? So when you get here on Sunday, June the 14th, you need to enter through these doors, the office entrance. This is going to be the only entrance available. And again, the reason is so that we can maintain that social distancing. We'd encourage you to even maintain your social distancing while you're in the parking lot as you walk into the building. And then these doors are going to be open. And from here, our deacons are going to escort you and usher you to your seat, okay? And so we want to give you an idea of what that's going to look like. All right, now if you are a person that we would say at risk, that means that you're a senior adult, 65 and older, or if you are immunocompromised, okay? These are guidelines that we're getting from the CDC, and the CDC is recommending that you choose to worship from home. We're still going to be doing our online through Facebook and through YouTube, and so you'll still be able to worship with us in that way. But if you do choose to come, that's great. We've got a setup for you. If you are in this at-risk category, you will enter through this curtain and be seated in this right rear section of the auditorium, okay? There will be 2 deacons into this section assigned to help you get to your seats and to make sure that you are not being crossed over by anybody else and to help maintain that social distancing. So once again, if you're in this at-risk category, CDC does recommend that you worship from home, but if you do want to choose to come and worship, love to have you, and we have a plan in place for you. Just meet. Matter of fact, it's going to be Brother Tom Hodges is going to be right here. So if you're in this category, you find Brother Tom and he'll help you get seated. Now, if you are not an at-risk person, you're going to again enter through those office doors and you're going to continue down the hallway. We've got our nursery area blocked off here, as you can see, and you'll just turn right here and enter the sanctuary from this point. Again, from here, you will pick up deacons who are going to usher you to your seat. Now, during the service, once you actually get to your seats, as you can see, we've got some of these pews are going to be taped off, and you're going to be seated by families in the pews that are not taped off, okay? So once you're in, though, there's some things that I would like you to know going forward. First of all, we are going to have restrooms available, but we're going to kind of ask that those be for emergency use only. Obviously, if you're here and you need to go to the restroom, by all means, go to the restroom. But try to not use our restrooms if you can help it, just to keep down how many people are going through that kind of thing. We will have deacons assigned for those restrooms, and those restrooms are going to be the ones that are just outside of these doors. And then in the nursery area restrooms, the ones just down the hall from the nursery that are behind the stage area, those are going to be designated as family restrooms. So if you need to change a diaper, if you need to take a small child to the restroom, you can go out that doors. And again, there'll be a deacon back there who will sanitize the restroom after you leave, wipe down the door handles, wipe off the faucets, and that kind of thing. Speaking of that, we're not going to have childcare, and that means that we're going to have little kids in worship with us from June 14th for at least a month after that, maybe even longer. So here's the deal. We want to celebrate that. We don't want that to be a hindrance. And so bring your kids on. If they cry, if they're crying too much and you need to take them out, that's fine. But we want to celebrate that. We want to enjoy that time together. As I preach, I'm going to do my best to incorporate something in each sermon that your kids will relate to. And I know we're going to continue with our children's worship, with our children's moment with Audrey and Rachel, but we just want to encourage you to have those kids in worship. Now, another thing that's going to take place that is going to be different is we're not going to pass out anything. We're not going to pass out bulletins. We're not going to pass out peppermints. We're not going to have our coffee bar. All of that is going to be shut down, again, to help with compliance to those CDC guidelines and to help with the social distancing. Now, at the end of our services, when it gets time to leave, once again, we're going to try to maintain that social distancing. And so we're going to ask you to exit by rows, starting at the rear of the building and then working our way forward. And this is the way that we're going to do it. If you're in from this row over, we're going to ask that you exit out of those doors to the rear. Again, by rows from the rear forward. If you're sitting in this center section, either side right here, then we would ask that you exit through these main doors and out into the parking lot. And lastly, if you're sitting in this section from this aisle over, you're going to exit back out the way that you came in. Now, in all of these exits, we're going to have deacons who are going to be at the rear of the building, and they're going to be helping people to their cars and again helping maintain that social distancing. But here's something that's very important that's going to be very different once we do meet here as far as our exit strategy. We're going to ask that everyone else allow our at-risk population to leave first. And the way we're going to do that is at the end of the invitation, then we will do another song, and it's during that song we'll ask our at-risk folks to go ahead and slip out and go ahead to their cars. Everybody else worships for one more song, and then, as we said, dismissed by rows. So again, in 2 weeks, June the 14th, you guys are going to fill these pews, and we're excited about that day. And we as a staff and as a deacon body, man, we are looking forward to this church being full once again. And I know that it's going to be with some rules and guidelines that we have to follow. But here's what we want to do. We wanted to try to create an atmosphere where whether you are really, really worried about this COVID-19 virus or whether you're not concerned about it at all, we tried to meet everybody in the middle and find something that is safe and that was still allow us to return to worship. So June the 14th, 10:30 a.m., doors open at 10. We look forward to seeing you there. God bless.